1 Prologue. It was the dwelling of the most feared dark magician. He was the pinnacle of power and wisdom, a former All-Watcher and the second disciple of Guilford Greybell. He was one of the original founder of the Luminescent Tower and the creator and master of the Nocturnal Tower. He alone commends the wicked and unruly. Many dark magicians follow his shadow. He is the absolute master of the Soulwalkers, the true nocturnal lord of the supernatural world. Angels call him the fallen All-Watcher, and the devils call him the Mad Magus. But those who can face him know him as Murphy Macker. As Murphy Macker sat on his obsidian throne, he observed the flow of time and space that encompassed the infinite omniverse. The translucent third eye on his forehead that granted him omniscience glowed like a bright morning star. His followers watched him with fear, awe, and amazement. It is time. A new generation of Godkins has awakened. A calamity is coming. As these ominous words left Murphy's mouth, the whole tower erupted with shock and concern. In the supernatural world, Godkins were a variant of demigods, possessing a fraction of a god's divine power, but none of their blood. In short, they are like adopted children of gods, receiving divine powers and destines. Unlike half-bloods, they are not biologically related to any celestial beings. Instead, their extraordinary abilities are direct bestowal from gods. Godkins were rare creatures, but the dark magicians of the Nocturnal Tower were concerned for another reason. Godkins were a sign of ill omen. Every time a Godkin appeared, a new disaster of universal magnitude followed. Lord Murphy, what should we do? A young follower shouted, fear evident in his tone. What else? We just wait and see how things play out. Perhaps we could even use it to our advantage. Murphy smiled evilly. On the other side of the dimensional void, the Obsidian City floated between the physical and the astral realms. The flames of the luminescent tower glowed like the breaking dawn. Its light brought hope and assurance in the hearts of all white magicians and supernatural beings. Grimly Greybell, the current tower master and all-watcher, was meditating, his translucent third eye glowing red like a blazing sun. How troublesome. Grimly thought to himself. Did you see something bad? Your third eye is glowing more than usual. A witch with a gorgeous figure asked with a concerned tone. Miss Ashley Holland, do you think gods love humans? Grimly asked with a stoic expression. The arch-white witch Ashley Holland didn't know how to answer. It is a difficult question to answer. I am more confident in my understanding of devils and demons than deities and angels. Ashley was a dead watcher who reached the level of archmagician, and she was also chosen to be Elder Watcher. Her authority and status was only one step below Grimly, who is an all-watcher. She was one of the most powerful white witch in the Omniverse, but that didn't mean she was all-knowing. She didn't have the mind's eye, nor did she specialize in every form of magic arts like a magus. If she was a mystic or a spiritualist, then maybe she could give a more suitable answer. Grimly looked at Ashley with a knowing smile. That's a reasonable response. I wonder how the natural world would respond if they knew how their gods see them. Grimly smiled sarcastically. Ashley looked confused. Did something happen or going to happen? She asked. Grimly didn't say anything. He just casually nodded like it wasn't a big deal. In the center of the chthonic worlds, the Antichrist was laughing with delight. Finally, I get to do something fun. The sickening laughter shook Satan's realm. Lucifer, the Lord of Pride, didn't interfere in his son's affair. But that didn't mean he supported it either. He was once known as Samuel the Morningstar until his foolish rebellion destroyed everything he had worked for. He didn't want to face any more humiliation from his younger brother Michael, nor does he want to be punished by his creator, the omnipotent God. That's why he didn't get involved in pointless endeavors that could put his existence in danger. He knew from experience that his father, the true omnipotent creator, could destroy him at any moment. That's why he never fights heaven directly. He only targets weak-willed humans to satisfy his need for revenge. Contrary to popular beliefs, Lucifer's greatest concern wasn't heaven, but hell itself. Abaddon, the king of locusts, Azrael the shadow seraph, and Sarathiel, the guardian of the abyss, were irregularities that he couldn't ignore. Abaddon wasn't a fallen angel, but he ruled over the deepest pit of hell. In heaven, he is known as Apollyon, the angel of the abyss. He couldn't be identified as good or evil. That made him a wild card. Lucifer didn't know how to treat him. He tried to bargain with him many times, but he stayed neutral. He didn't intervene in the rebellion against heaven. He only carried out his angelic work, as if nothing else mattered. He wasn't related to anything that wasn't related to his creator's command. Abaddon wasn't as powerful as Michael, but he wasn't someone to mess with. There's a reason why he is called the instrument of God's judgment. Even Belphegor, the sin of sloth, fears him. Abaddon was a potential problem, but Azraelon was a ticking time bomb. Each angel was created to represent an aspect of the Creator's ideals and virtues. Azraelon was the representation of the Creator's inner desires and darkness. That's why his existence brings chaos and carnage. Azraelon was the only angel that was chained to the shadowy pits of hell. It could be said Azraelon was the first angel that was bound to hell. Azraelon's powers rivals the great seraphims. If it weren't for the divine chains, then all of hell, no all of creation would tremble. Sarathiel was another concern. He wasn't as dangerous as Abaddon or Azraelon, but he was the guardian of the abyss, or to be more precise, heaven's watchdog. Sarathiel's power is a barrier that repels demonic forces. As long as he exists, no devil or demon can escape without suffering dire consequences. If it weren't for them, then Lucifer wouldn't have to sit back and watch his son make a fool of himself. Heaven was in a state of turmoil. The presence of multiple Godkins has caused a huge uproar that shook the karmic balance of good and evil. Archangel Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Sariel, Uriel, Raguel, Ramiel, Ariel, Chamuel, Sakiel, Raziel, Jophiel, Jeremiel, Azrael, Barakiel, Jagudiel, Anael, and Seliphiel were sitting around a golden round table, quietly deliberating the fate of the three realms, excluding Metatron and Sandalphon, who were tasked with ruling and managing the seraphims. Every archangel was present. Michael, Archangel of Courage, who manifests through a blue light, looked at everyone present. He could tell that everyone was anxious. Ahm. Everyone, I have received instruction from the Lord Almighty. Michael, the chief of the heavenly host, spoke. Everyone's attention was on Michael. We are to nurture and guide the Godkins. They play a pivotal role in the coming age, said Michael with a serious tone. Everyone was either curious or worried. Guiding humanity was already difficult, but now they had to deal with humans with divinity. Humans are chaotic creatures. They have free will, but they take it for granted. They are both selfish and selfless, virtuous and sinful, heroic and villainous. That made them impossible to predict. That is why the omniverse keeps on expanding. Different choices create new possibilities, and new possibilities create new multiverses. It is an unending cycle. If that's the will of the Lord, then we shall do our utmost to meet his expectations. One of the archangels, a male given name, from a Hebrew word meaning, healing of the Lord, Raphael, spoke with determination. So, how many Godkin are there? Asked one archangel, the fire of God, Uriel. There are 13 Godkin that are prophesied to be born in this era, but currently only 6 have awakened their divinity. Me, Ariel, and Ramiel have already established friendly relationship with 3 of them while everyone was away. Said Michael, that many, just what kind of disaster was coming? And you already established contact while we were working out asses off. Reguel, one of the enigmatic of the Archangel Apocrypha, spoke. When did you 3 have the time to do that? I don't even have the time to rest. Azrael, Archangel of New Beginnings, who manifested through an indigo light, also spoke. We have better work-life balance. Said Ramiel, that's not a valid excuse. Azrael and Jeremiel said in unison. Archangel Azrael, also known as the Angel of Death, helps souls cross over at the moment of their death and consoles survivors and helps them heal from grief. Thus he had no time for rest or relaxation. The same can be said for Jeremiel, who is the mercy of God. Archangel Jeremiel's mission is to guide souls who have recently passed and review their lives to show the lessons they have learned on Earth. Jeremiel also helps those still living to review their present life plan. Both Azrael and Jeremiel were more involved with humanity than other archangels. The meeting continued for a decade in Heaven's time. After countless deliberations, it was decided that the angels will impose trials and tribulations to prepare the Godkins for the coming catastrophe.
Due Geroy e Grace